Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alex, and I'm currently going through a process that I would consider a road to minimalism. I'm actively doing a low buy year, trying to do a low buy year, and just trying to navigate the space of like conscious consumerism. And so I've been really wanting to log and track my progress and experiences and everything on YouTube, just so people can see that process and what it looks like, and also as a keepsake for myself to look back on it and see what I've been doing. And I thought this would be a really good video to make, mainly for myself. Honestly, I don't even know if people would be interested in this stuff, but I'm excited to look back on it in the future. Last year, I posted a video about how I perfectly curated my closet, and while a lot of the things that I said still stands, the way I went about it was completely wrong, and I was so embarrassed that I unlisted it because I was just talking out of my ass. I had no idea what I was talking about. And I want to say this right now, that I probably still haven't figured it out, but I feel like I am so much better than I was last year when it comes to figuring this stuff out. So I can say right now that I have not found the perfect wardrobe, and it's also not a standard wardrobe. This is what works for me. This is what works with my lifestyle. So it may also not work for you. And this is not my forever wardrobe. I think of it as a baseline that I will slowly build and develop over the next few years. So let's talk about my wardrobe. I am going to go through the whole 9 yards. I'm going to talk about everything. I'm going to have timestamps below, but this is what I'm going to go through just so you can jump around if you'd like. I'm going to go over why I do this, why I decide to be super diligent, and also why I've decided to create my closet the way that I have created it. I'm going to go through all of my stats. For everyone who likes stats and all that stuff, I'm going to go through all of it. Then I'm going to go through how I make my clothes last longer, how I take care of them. I want to go through questions I ask myself when I'm buying clothes, just to make sure that I know I'm going to love that piece. I want to go through how I don't buy clothes, like how I stop myself from buying clothes. And I'm going to go through some current stuff that I'm thinking about, things that I've been learning very recently about my habits and my closet. All right, let's get on with it. My wardrobe has always been a struggle for me. Every single time I think I know something, every time I think I've established a style or I find clothes that I really like, I can give myself a year and that point of view has completely changed. But there are still a few things that are solid throughout, and those are the things I'm going to be talking about. I also want to note that what I'm going to be talking about is not all of my clothes. I have about like 10 to 15 extra pairs of clothing that I'm not going to be talking about, just because they're either out of season or because they are not currently in this area. If you haven't watched my other content, you probably wouldn't know that I am not where I normally am at. I'm just staying here for like a few months, so I only brought a certain amount of clothing down here. That's what I'm going to be talking about. Let's talk about why I do this. Why have I created this wardrobe? If you look at this, you would say that it's pretty, I'd say that it's pretty minimalist, or minimalistic, I should say. Whenever it comes to clothes, there are 4 things that I prioritize. Number 1 is convenience. Number 2 is simplicity. Number 3 is comfort, and number 4 is versatility. And whenever I go buy clothes, I choose clothes that best fit these priorities. And I'll just say this right now, clothing is not the way that I choose to express myself. I guess you would say, a very boring dresser. It's not a way that I choose to represent who I am. Obviously, I would like a little bit of individuality when it comes to that stuff, but I am not a fashionista. Another one of my whys is that I want to reduce decision fatigue and also save time. So how my wardrobe is set up, I guess you would consider it a capsule wardrobe. Out of my clothes, I can choose a random top and a random bottom, and 8 out of 10 times they will match and they'll look good together. So it's kind of like just you grab random things and they'll work. I don't have to think about anything. And my last why is that I want to be more mindful and intentional with the things that I buy. Again, I am going through like a whole process of this stuff, so if you want to see the playlist that I've created about all of the videos that I've made, you can go check it out. I'll have it linked somewhere. But I really want to bring stuff into my life that I will use on a regular basis, that I will love until its lifespan ends. And so a big priority right now is prioritizing the material of that clothing. All right, let's get into some closet stats. This is gonna be fun. I use an app called Wearing. I've been using it for almost a year. Once it hits 1 year, I am going to do an updated video from my other cataloging video that I made. So in the next month, you can look out for that. I'm reserving some of the stats from that app so I can put into that video. So if you want like an even more overall stat video, I will be posting that in about a month or so. But yeah, I use the app called Wearing. Not everything in my wardrobe is cataloged on there. So as I go through the rest of the stats, there may be some discrepancies, but just know that for all of these stats, I am counting stuff that aren't cataloged on that app. And those are things like bathing suits, sports bras, accessories. Last time I talked about my wardrobe, I had 74 items on Wearing, and now I have 48, which is a 38% decrease. 60% of my clothes are made from 50% or more natural fibers. This includes linen, cotton. 83% of my closet is new, like I purchased them new, and 17% of my closet I purchased secondhand, and 36% of my wardrobe is either purchased from business that are locally owned, woman owned, and Mexican owned. In the future, I do want to try to prioritize buying more secondhand clothing. I do feel a little bit limited with the options that I have where I live right now. Also, a lot of the locally owned businesses are marked up for tourism, so it's kind of hard to afford that stuff. As a future goal, I do want to be buying more secondhand clothing. Now let's get into the categories. I do want to note that some of the pieces of clothing are in 2 categories. So again, if there's any discrepancies, then you know why. Let's start off with tops. I have 24 tops. 8 of them are t-shirts, 6 of them are tank tops, 2 of them are tube tops, 2 of them are halter top. I have 1 going out top, 1 button up, 1 cardigan, and 1 sweatshirt. I live in a very hot and humid environment, so that's why I only have 1 cardigan and 1 sweatshirt. All right, let's get into the bottoms that I have. I have 20 bottoms. I have 11 shorts, 4 pants, 4 skirts, and 1 pair of leggings. When it comes to workout clothes, I have 6 sports bras, 3 skirts, 2 workout tops, 2 water shorts. Basically, I'm an athlete for stand-up paddleboarding, so I like to have specific shorts that I wear when I go to train. So those ones get the saltwater damage and not like nicer workout clothes that I have. I have 2 normal shorts, 1 pair of leggings, and 1 athletic shirt. I don't know how I would classify that, but it's just its own little category. Next category is loungewear. I have 10 in total, 4 lounge tops and 6 lounge shorts. When it comes to full body, I have 2 dresses, and then when it comes to bathing suits, I have 3 bathing suits. When looking at my closet, I have 4 main colors, and those colors are black, white, green, and blue. And I would consider my secondary colors beige and gray. That's just how wearing has classified my wardrobe. I do think that I have a pretty solid capsule wardrobe, but I'm also not one of those sad beige people. I have color in my wardrobe, but I'm also kind of scared of it, so that's something that I need to work on. Now let's get into the age of my wardrobe, aka how long I've had the items in my closet. These stats are specifically taken from wearing, so things like sports bras and other stuff aren't going to be counted in this. I have 3 items that I got 7 to 8 years ago, 4 items that I got 6 to 7 years ago, 2 items that I got 5 to 6 years ago, 2 items that I got 4 to 5 years ago, 5 items that I got 3 to 4 years ago, 11 items that I got 2 to 3 years ago. And that was kind of when I was 17, 18 when I actually started trying to style myself, so I bought like a little bit more clothing. I got 4 items 1 to 2 years ago, and in the past year I have gotten 17 items. Now that 17 sounds crazy, it seems like so much, but when I think about the things that I have gotten in the past year, a lot of it is workout clothes, because I really didn't have any workout clothes, so I got a few pieces. And also, I do think that I am keeping more of the pieces that I get because I actually know what I like. I can easily say that I have gotten many items in the past several years that is not counted on here because I got rid of them, and I also think I got rid of them because I didn't know what I was looking for. So why that number is so high for the past year, I think it is because I am actually buying stuff that I genuinely like and I am genuinely using. I also want to note that the oldest pieces that I have are 8 years old, and that probably doesn't seem like that much, but I was 12 8 years ago. So I think it's safe to say that I probably wouldn't have that many pieces of clothing from back then. And it's also crazy to think that I have clothes from throughout my entire teenage years that still fit me. There are a ton more stats, like my most used items, my least worn items. All of that is going to be saved for the video that I'll be posting in about a month or so. So stay tuned. Those are all the stats that I'll be sharing. Now let's get into how I take care of my clothes, how I make them last. Now, I will be honest, I do have a lot of fast fashion in my closet. That was partly because for a long time I didn't understand what buying fast fashion meant, and some of it also includes the fact that financially and location-wise, those are kind of the only things that are accessible to me at the moment. Let me tell you, Shein runs rampant in my town and my area. So obviously they are not the best quality, but I want to make them last. I have items from what you would say fast fashion. I've had them for 5+ years. So I can say that I've taken care of them. So I want to talk about how I make those things last. I've consolidated my tips into 3 categories. Number 1 is washing, number 2 is maintaining, and number 3 is fabric choice, which I'll get into that. Number 1 is washing and drying. One of the reasons why your clothes wear and tear is because of that washing and drying cycle that you put it through. So in order to have those clothes last longer, water, you do not have to wash your clothes every time you wear them. That might sound nasty, but oh my god, the amount of time, money, energy you save just wearing your clothes a few more times, and then you can throw them in the washing. It will just prolong the life of your clothes just so much more. And when I wash my clothes, I don't use fabric softeners or hot water. Fabric softeners, they break down the fibers of your clothes. They kind of put this like waxy texture on it, which isn't really good for them, and it also makes them less breathable. And I don't use hot water because hot water makes them shrink, it makes them fade, it damages the elasticity of the clothing if the clothing is stretchy. Same thing with the heat in the dryer, it will damage that stuff, which is why when I wash my clothes, workout clothes in the dryer is an absolute no-go because majority of it is elastic, and I've had where I throw bathing suits or workout clothes in the dryer and their elasticity just disappears. It gets so damaged. So if not throwing stuff in the dryer and not using hot water in the washer, I've definitely been able to keep the clothes in a relatively good state. I also air dry things like 100% cotton just because, again, that stuff can shrink. And I do in the dryer for other things, but I throw it on a really low temperature. I throw it on the lowest temperature. And doing these things also helps the environment because you are putting less toxins into the water with the fabric softener. You are using less energy heating up water and trying to dry your clothes, and you're also using less energy by separating more the amount of times that you have to wash your clothes. Like imagine going from 2 to 3 washes a week to like once a week just by reusing your clothes, especially if you're paying to get your laundry done. The second way that I take care of my clothes is maintaining them. Clothes rip, they tear, they get stains, all that stuff. So it is so important to be able to have the facilities to repair them if needed. So when it comes to holes, I like to sew them together. If sewing doesn't work, I use denim patches. And if you have a stain, I haven't tried this, but you can embroider stuff on top of it too. I think sewing and maintaining your clothes is such an important tool to learn, because what's gonna happen when you lose a button? What, you're just not gonna wear that piece again? Like, no, you wanna fix the button so you can continue to wear it. Oh, there's a hole ripping in the armpit? Let me just sew that back up, and then it'll look like nothing happened. Here are some clothes so I can show you what I'm talking about. Armpit, sewed together. I did do this sewing job about like 2 years ago, so I need to touch it up for sure. And then these pants is kind of a cheat code because the design is so much, but if you notice right here, I fell and I ripped a hole into my pants. So I used denim patches to patch it up. And from a distance, you can barely even see it. Though these are one of the pants that I throw in the dryer, and I have noticed that the adhesive of the denim patches, it comes off with the heat. So that's another thing to note. All right, the last thing that I go about maintaining my clothing items is the material of the actual pieces. Now this is more when you're like actually buying it, but I can confidently tell you that the majority of the clothes that I have that have lasted me the longest are made from natural fibers. So making sure what the fabric is made out of before buying it can predict pretty well the longevity of that item. All right, now let's get into how I buy clothes, because I like getting new clothes. So here are a few questions that I ask myself when I think about buying something new. Number one is, does it fit my current body and lifestyle? I have to be buying a piece of clothing that currently fits who I am now, not for a person that I want to be, you know? I do fluctuate in weight, so I do also prefer to have clothing that can be adjusted, either get smaller or get bigger. And it also has to endure my lifestyle. Can it handle movement? Can it handle sweat? Can it handle salt water? All these things. Question number two is, does the color fit my complexion? I like to stay within my colors, aka green, blue, white, and black, because I know that I look okay with those colors on me, but I'm definitely not gonna buy clothes if the color is just not gonna look good on me. Question number three is, does it match multiple items of clothing in my wardrobe? When I'm looking to buy something, I need it to be versatile. That's one of my top 4 things. Every piece that I introduce into my wardrobe has to make at least 5 to 10 new outfits. One of my most recent purchases provided me with 11 new outfits, and that doesn't even include layering. Question number 4 is it multi-purpose? Some examples is it a top that can be a bathing suit cover-up while also working as an individual top? Another one is, can my loungewear also work as outerwear? And can the item of clothing be dressed up or dressed down? And the 5th question is it made from 50% or more natural materials? This is one of the ones that I've been focusing on this year. Choosing to buy more natural fibers is more eco-conscious. It's more breathable and light. I do want to note that My bathing suits and workout clothes are made from polyester and nylon and all that stuff, but bathing suits and workout clothes are in my no buy year right now. So I'm just working with what I have and I'm not looking to buy new stuff. But if I do buy new stuff, I'm still trying to figure out how I will go about buying new things with my goal of more natural fibers in my closet in mind. Okay, I just told you how I say yes to clothing. Now I'm going to tell you how I say no to clothing. Imagine in this hypothetical situation that I have a piece of clothing in my hands that I want to buy and it's matched every single one of my questions. Like it is a yes across the board. How do I say no to that item? Because at the end of the day, I want to have clothes in my wardrobe that I'm actually going to use, and I don't want it in my closet solely because it matches my criteria. This was a problem that I was having last year, and that I had a lot of clothes that supposedly matched my answers, like matched my questions, matched the things that I wanted, but I never reached for them. So I want to talk about reasons why I may not reach them and how I say no to these items. Number one is there another piece of clothing in your wardrobe that's practically the same or that is already established that you will gravitate more towards? When it comes to clothing, I pretty much have one of each thing, and for my situation, I really only need one of each thing. Like, why am I going to get another black tank top when I already have a black tank top? Why am I going to get another t-shirt when I already have plenty of t-shirts to choose from? Similarly, along those lines, the next question is, do I have another item that's similar? I guess number one and two kind of go together in the sense that if I have the same thing that serves the same purpose, why do I need more? It's kind of like I have one skirt that mainly works as a bathing suit cover-up. I don't need another bathing suit cover-up because also a lot of my shorts work as cover-ups as well. Even my dresses work as cover-ups. Number three is, does the quantity of that item that you already have cause any inconvenience to your lifestyle? Can you last to your next wash day with the amount of things that you have in that category? A few examples for me is that I have 3 bathing suits, and that is totally fine for me. I can handle with only 3 bathing suits. I don't need any more. When it comes to workout clothes, I have enough workout clothes to last me the week until I wash my clothes. But a category that I'm finding that I struggle a little bit more in is shorts. I need a few more shorts that I can actually wear outside because a lot of my shorts also work as indoor loungewear. So if I've already worn shorts outside, I can't use them inside. So I need more shorts that I can wear outdoors. And that means that it may be time to add 1 or 2 more items in that category. I'm not gonna go crazy and buy like 5. I'm gonna buy 1, see if that works, see if it works for me. And then if I need another one, I'll buy a second one. Hello everyone, this is Editing Alex here. I'm working on the video right now and I just wanted to dive a little bit more into the topic of inconvenience. A big reason why I have chosen to design and lay out my wardrobe the way that I have is because I want to minimize inconvenience. I don't want to be inconvenienced by my clothes. I don't want to be inconvenienced by the amount of time that it will have to take to create an outfit in the morning. And so this topic is incredibly subjective because everyone's level of inconvenience and what they view as inconvenience, it's completely different. So right now I can look at my wardrobe and be like, yeah, I am happy with what I have right now. Need a few shorts maybe, but overall the amount of clothes and the type of clothes are not inconveniencing me right now. However, that might completely change in the future. I may think that I need more clothes. I might move to a place that's a lot colder that requires me to have more long sleeves and cardigans. I might enter a professional field where I need uniforms or at least professional attire. So when I talk about inconvenience, I want you to think about whether or not your wardrobe does cause inconvenience and how you will change that in order to allow yourself to reach the path of least resistance when it comes to your clothes. If that's the goal that you want. If that's not, then totally fine. But this is how I've chosen to go about how I create my closet. Now the last question I ask myself is that item trendy? This was my main mistake last year. Am I buying these pieces of clothing because I like them or because they are trendy and I've subconsciously told myself that I like it? I remember back in the day when high-rise was really big, and then I started noticing the trend was going back down to low-rise, and I'm like, no, I love high-rise. I don't want low-rise to be the thing right now. And I have succumbed to the low-rise trend. That wasn't until very recently, but I also still have a ton of high-rise stuff. I never got rid of my high-rise stuff. I still use it, but I've also started to get more low-rise stuff. But I've been getting low-rise stuff, but I've been getting stuff that is adjustable, so I can either use it as high-rise, mid-rise, and low rise if I want to. I'm not just gonna get only low rise stuff because it also depends on how I want to dress myself that day. But last year, I remember in the video that I had made, I was all like, I buy trends, but it's because I like them. I like having them, and they're things that I've been wanting for forever. They're things that I've been needing in my closet. All of the clothing that was in the back of that video when I was filming are no longer in my closet. So I tried not to buy trends. Part of me is worried that I am succumbing to trends. Like, I recently got tube tops. I've been getting baggy low-rise pants and shorts. So we'll see how that works. But when it comes to getting those stuff, I get like one or two. I don't like repurchase my entire wardrobe to fit that aesthetic. I just get like one or two items and then I'm good to go. My individuality is absolutely shot thanks to social media. So, all right. So what now? What are the things that I'm doing? What are my current actions? What are some recent discoveries? I keep on saying this. I am still learning about the things that I like in my closet. Recently, in the past several months, I've realized that my shoulders kind of droop down. So anything that has straps that go straight back, they just fall off my shoulders, so I have to have something that connects in the back or a halter top because they will fall off. So there are so many things that I'm like, oh my god, this is so cute, but I know that it's just gonna slide off my shoulders and I'm not gonna be able to wear it. I gotta be honest, I am filming this video right now because I have gotten new pieces of clothing that I have not yet cataloged in there. My birthday just passed, so I got a few new items, but I wanted this to be just a little bit more authentic to the longevity of my closet, and I also did not want to redo all of the stats. Those items will, however, be cataloged in the video to come. I'm filming this on the 24th of August, and I've made a rule for myself that I'm not going to be buying any more clothing until the end of September when I go to the United States and I get to go to some thrift shops. Hopefully I find something nice. Hopefully I find something cool. I'm always hesitant to experiment because when it comes to experimenting, I always have to buy new. So it's like, nah, I'm not going to buy new because what if I don't like it? So maybe I'll dip my toes into some new stuff, experiment a little bit from the thrift shops. It's less damage on my wallet and it's less damage on the environment. Right now on wearing, I've been trying to prioritize my less used items. Next month, I hit 1 year using wearing. I'm trying to get all of the items that I have right now to 20 uses per item. That's a lot to ask for, but I've been doing well. Not all of my items are going to get there, but a lot of my items are already there, which is nice to see. And then my next project is trying to get my items to 20 pesos or less per use. That's like less than $1. And another recent discovery of mine is that things don't have to match perfectly. The overall view that I want to present myself with my wardrobe is simple and effortless. So if I want it to be effortless, things don't need to match perfectly. That's not the point. And also, people don't care in this town. People don't care where I live, what I'm wearing. People go out in board shorts and bathing suits and are fine. Skinny jeans is still a really big thing where I live. So I'm not trying to dress for anyone, I'm just trying to dress for myself. I fortunately do not have the societal pressures to succumb to the more recent trends because ain't nobody following that shit where I live. So that's a huge weight off my shoulders. Definitely, because I'm the type of person to succumb to social pressures when it comes to people's perceptions of me, which is something I have to work on. All right, that was a doozy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this somehow gave you some perspective of how I like to lay out my closet, and maybe if this is something that you're interested in, it'll give you an insight as to how it all works. Or this is a random video that you saw and you recommended and you just needed a video to use as background noise. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Let me know if you have any comments or agreements, disagreements to what I said in this video, and I'll hopefully catch you later. Bye-bye. I talk about having a capsule wardrobe while I literally have a Caitlyn shirt on. We love her, we listen to her, and we don't judge.